great studio.
I'm here at a great studio with Jaybird Studio with Dave Tronzo, David Tronzo. And
Joel.
I put together this recording session as part of the Duos project that I'm doing with Ben Monder and David. And all of a sudden occurred to me that he's living in Boston. We got to take this moment to convene and discuss guitars. And as fate would have it, he's got his entire 3-course meals of helpmates.
That's right.
But it's really part of the orchestra. And that's actually a word I think of when I think of your playing, because you do kind of have this orchestra of sounds that's unique to you because you play slide.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a couple things that I want to do just to get it out of the way. The first is, let's just take a look at some of these implements here and show us a little bit. There are a lot of them, so you choose.
We'll just run through them.
Yeah.
I'll just run through them real quick.
And then you're going to tell us the story that we talked about at lunch about how you turned into a slide guitarist at a very young and impressionable age.
Cool. Okay. So, we'll jump right in to something that occurred later, not long, but somewhat later after I started. So the slide, is a replacement for the finger, but it's actually a replacement for the fret. It's called a movable fret in other cultures. And so I use a metal slide, a typical Dunlop slide, and you can hear that the note is basically almost the same quality as the finger.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this strength of tone. And then after I worked with this for a while, I've always first of all worked, when I started to play professionally, with horn players. And I love, no offense to the saxophone players, I love them too, but the brass guys stole my heart. One of the reasons for that is because on brass instruments, the note is like a zone.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like if a particular brass player is not going to be a stickler for intonation concept, sort of not ambiguous, but outside of their playing.
Right.
I always chose the guys that, they had their own intonation. But I love the mutes.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I bring up the intonation thing is because of the thing we talked about at lunch, which is that the slide rings on the string rings on both sides of the slide. Which is why there's this different there's a slightly different resonance to the note.
Holdover of the note.
Yeah, and you can pick behind the string and activate the harmonics. But anyways, back to the mute thing. So watch this. Let's say I want to change the quality of the metal to something like a tin or aluminum can. This is one of my favorites, the wasabi peas.
It was good. Wasabi peas.
Yeah. So after I devoured the peas, I cleaned the can out. And listen to this. This is kind of interesting. So here's the slide sound. And here's the can.
Totally different. And, the question that occurs to me is, why is it muted? It's also metal.
Yeah, it's not
thinner.
It's not sustaining the note. It's actually probably the composition of whatever this is. I don't know if it's one metal.
Uh-huh.
And the size of it, the air mass in it, because it's all an acoustic phenomenon.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Got it.
And I used to use a variety of different cans, but it became ridiculous to travel with these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so now to the plastic. The first one was this. This is a cigar tube that is actually kind of old now, and the plastic is degraded a little bit. But this was originally my oud. so then I started to look at other plastic things. There's all these African zithers and
Yes.
string harps. And like I was just saying before we started, if I put the tube over the slide, there's a little more solidity to the note. I can actually use it as a quality for if I want to take a solo in a piece. But without it, it becomes this.
Ah.
Okay. And
So
now,
I'm a little confused as to why that's muting so much. Just the quality of
oh
the
yeah,
plastic,
just yeah. There's listen to this.
and also the weight
Yep.
of the slide underneath it.
Well, there's no slide underneath it now. It's on my middle finger.
It's still muted.
So watch this. If I put the slide, now
Yeah.
there's more.
Yeah, a little different. You know, by the way, I'm looking at your right hand, and you know, you're playing a rest stroke.
Yes.
Like a classical guitarist.
Correct.
I never
Yeah.
realized you did. Why?
Because you have this standing position. I mean, now this is where it gets dicey, okay?
Mhm.
Because most slide players, and I mean almost 100% of them that I've encountered, they don't do this. They don't care about what I'm about to say.
Okay.
So in order for me to be able to play not only long lines, you know, stuff, and across, I'm jumping from string group to string
Yes.
group. I have a 4-finger technique, which means all the string pairs.
Yes.
Okay, in order to do that, my rest position means the guitar has to be completely muted.
Yes.
Okay,
So there's not ringing of
not ever that anything I
Yeah.
don't want.
with slide, which is really hard
Yes.
to accomplish.
Yeah, basically 99% of great slide playing is in the non-slide hand.
That is really interesting. Okay, give me a second here.
Okay.
Let me see your slide. And so what you're talking about, I use it on this hand, and I use a little one, so I'm not used to this. But so what
okay.
you're talking about here is rather than,
I can give you a small glass one if you prefer.
you know,
Yes, that's
It'd be-
that is absolutely common what you're doing.
so every one of these, and that's really hard on the right hand, I think,
Well, here's
to
what
develop that.
here's what happens, I think, with most slide players. They do this thing where they use one finger, primarily the index finger, to pick everything.
Yes.
Now, when they change strings, they just move the index finger.
Yeah.
So what I did, though, is I wanted to play both across the guitar and, you know, up horizontally.
Right.
Okay, so now to play across, I'm going to take 3 fingers, thumb, index, middle, and I'm going to place them on a 3-string group. And every time they move as a group.
I got you.
So then if I'm on the top 3 strings, there's no problem with the lower strings because I can mute them if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
But when I jump, I have to mute with an extra finger the top string. When I jump to the strings 5, 4, 3, I got to put this finger in between those 2 strings so that the whole guitar's.
Now wait, are you actually using one of your fingers to mute a string you aren't playing?
Yes, I'm muting 2 now. I'm using the second and the first. And then when I jump to the bottom string group, my ring and pinky are muting all these top strings. Now watch. Now I move. Did you see the move?
Yeah.
Now I'm on the next string group, and now I'm on the next string group.
Okay. All
I'm
right, so
on the top.
indulge me. Do it without, I mean, if you
No, I
can.
can't.
You're so used to it.
Can't. It's 55 years of this.
Interesting. Wow. Okay, so, anybody who's planning on doing this, take note. That's really hard. It's going to take a long time.
It's going to take a long time. Yeah, I
Okay.
did for me.
Yeah. All right, so
But let me show
keep
you a quick-
going, man. Keep going.
So here's a quick exercise that I take my students through.
Yeah.
Remarkably, they never continue with this, even though they have unbelievable success with it. Like sonically and idea-wise, their control goes up really fast and their ideas bloom, and then they drop it. I can't figure out why. So much so that I stopped teaching the slide. I don't teach slide for 10 years now.
Really?
Yeah, if somebody asks me to teach slide, I say, nope.
I can't believe that.
No. Well, I had to
Why would anybody come to you and not say, hey, can you show
I
me
asked
some
the
slide
department
stuff?
to drop the course I wrote. The course that I came into Berklee writing, which was a very modern, comprehensive, I don't think there's a course like it, frankly, anywhere in the world. That's what I've been told.
Well, that
Because
doesn't surprise me.
We played every style of music, including jazz standard arranged with harmony, with finger behind the slide stuff. Like chords.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Without getting into it, I'm just going to adjust this mic for a second. It needs to come up a little bit. What is the exercise?
So the exercise,
Because
I say,
we really want to know.
I say take thumb, index, middle, which is your 3-finger group. First, we jump string sets, and they get used to kind of moving, and a lot of the dexterity is not fully there. We go on strings 4, 3, 2, and we play a D major triad,
Okay.
which in standard tuning is always there. I think I'm kind of little. Anyways, I say, look, your middle finger is in charge of string 2, index, string 3, thumb. Don't move. If you want to play on the 4th string, it's all thumb.
Okay.
3rd string is all index. And then 2nd string's all middle, but these have to stay down. So and so watch. We could play triads. We could play right in this zone with 4 notes on this string, 3 notes on this string, 4 notes on this string, and we can just improvise. And I ask them just to play single notes, no double stops. So then we do an exercise where we take, this is a 2nd inversion triad. So let's do all 2nd inversion triads, key of D, starting from an A.
Okay.
And watch, we're going to just go. Same string group, same finger assignment. And we do all kinds of combination. I'm going to do them very fast, but trust me, we would do these at 40 on the metronome quarter notes.
Yeah.
We'll go descending, ascend the arpeggio, descend the chords, just one, go. Okay?
Right.
Then we might do descending. Right?
Right.
Et cetera, et cetera. We might go. So now you're moving the slide between 2 frets, basically, because you have to compensate for that note. Then we might do the 6th, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Okay, and then we go to another string group and repeat this.
Right.
And of course, what you're talking about is 4 3-string groups, triads in a key, all inversions on every string set. Any combination of order of notes across all 4 string sets, 12 keys, just a major scale. I think you're looking at 10 to 15 years of work. Frankly speaking, I've never seen it happen faster.
Yeah.
If you really want to get like where you can play ideas and your comfort level. So right in that, there were ideas I could play in 5 to 8 years. There was a couple ideas that took 20 or to 25, and one of the last big things I did took probably 45. It's 55 years this year.
Well.
Yeah, this stuff.
Right.
This stuff.
Right. Okay. Well,
Those lines.
let's just note that I don't know anybody else playing slide who's even trying to do that.
Correct.
So that's the first part.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's how we go back to
by the way, I took a lesson with Sonnylandreth a couple
Oh,
years ago.
yeah.
It was amazing. And
delightful.
I mean, of course, he's doing a lot of stuff related to what you're talking about, and he has an amazing right hand too.
Yep, he does.
But you know, the harmony he's using is more
triadic major scale.
diatonic.
Yeah.
So this is a whole nother thing.
Mhm.
I mean, even just deciding that you want to play an E flat rather than using a capo with slide is pretty radical.
I guess, yeah.
So
But you have to understand the first jazz tune I taught myself was Donna Lee.
I heard that. Yeah.
And the second one was Reincarnation of a Lovebird.
Yeah, that's really hard to play with 4 fingers.
It's hard to play in. Okay, so there was a guy in my hometown of Rochester, New York, and I have not been in touch with him in forever. I think I last saw him when I was 15. Mark, if you're still around, thank you for this exercise. I hope you're doing great, because, man, you were great. He was this hardcore bebop, straight-ahead guy, but he was one of the sweet ones. You know, the Rochester, New York had what we call the bebop mafia.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it was all these Italian
didn't
guys
know that.
playing hard, like bebop, like heavy.
Well,
Yeah.
but you can't be talking about Gene Bertoncini who was there. He was just too sweet
No,
a
no,
guy
no.
to be part of the
I'm talking
mafia.
about Vinny Ruggiero and all these crazy guys.
Guys I don't know.
Yeah. Well, there's some stories I can't tell on
Okay.
that podcast. I'll tell you to them in the car.
All right.
Because I don't think they're really something I should tell.
Yeah.
But these guys were devotees, but they were hard. They hazed you.
Yes.
And Mark didn't do that. And Mark said, I was showing him what I was trying to do back when it was barely walking. I mean, to this day,
Yeah.
I'm still hard about, what I think it sounds like. But back then, it was verifiably terrible. And, he said, hey, that's not unlike this exercise we do in bebop where you play with just your index finger. So you want to play a line.
Yeah.
Okay, now you want to play something.
Right.
So now you play just with your index finger. You got to think about, do I really want to play that?
Yes.
Okay?
Absolutely. And of course, that was one of Mick Goodrick's exercises too.
Yes. And I watched Abercrombie in the middle of a concert rest his hand by going, and then he'll go.
Okay, so this is the thing about slide, and it's one of the reasons I play slide, and it's something that sometimes I'll do not enough when I'm not playing slide, and that is the one finger thing or playing slide, and I'll go, because of the limitations, I played all melody.
Yeah.
I didn't play any filler. I couldn't.
Yeah. Well, I hear you. I couldn't either. And I was like the slowest guy, and I was behind everybody in hearing.
But it sounds good because of that, right?
I think so. Look, limitation, I know for a fact this is true, so I tell every student that comes to me, limitation is the gateway to creativity. I put limits on these guys that blow their minds. They want to play like a tune, and you know me, I'm not a tune guy, like a standards guy. But okay, you want to play some tunes. We'll play through some changes. Okay, I'll comp. Your solo is only on the bottom 2 strings.
Yeah,
And it has to burn. It has to be a story, and you got to top this thing out energy-wise, but you can't go above the 12th fret.
Excellent.
And tell me a story. Tell me a believable story.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Right.
I'll stop them after 30 seconds. I'll say, what rhythms do you think you're playing? They'll say, oh, I'm playing quarter notes and eighth notes and half notes. I said, what kind of rests are you using? What?
Right.
I said, you're actually playing 16th notes and you never rest. I said, where's your solo going?
Right.
How does it go somewhere if you're starting there?
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right? And then I also say, why do you have to start right when you have to start? Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to play a long thing when you start? Blah, 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 blah. We have all kinds of exercises. I have that guy's comp. I say, your voicing can only be done on string 6, 3, and 2. That's your chord choice.
Excellent. Yeah.
Or 6, 3, and 1.
Yeah, it makes you think outside the box.
Yeah. You break up
Outside
your chords
your
a little
habits.
bit.
Yeah.
Because it's all about intervals.
So tell before I forget, and I just want to pause for a second. Andres, I'll edit this out. This mic is sinking slowly, sort of like islands in the South Pacific. So let's just take a second.
It's global warming.
To maybe pull this back, and it won't.
It's global warming, dude.
Yeah, there we go.
It's climate change.
Yeah, good. And then it might be a nice opportunity for me to turn off my phone. I don't know if you heard it.
Yeah, I did.
But sure,
it's okay.
it kind of pissed me off.
Well,
I thought I had it on silent, so I don't know why it's making noises.
There's one more thing I'd like to demonstrate before we continue.
Oh, definitely. Give me a sec.
So back in my day, there was nobody doing this. When I finally met Sonny in the Hyatt days, 1990, he was the only other guy that was doing it that I was aware of. And we both kind of agreed that not anybody was doing this yet, but now it's super common. And here's what it is. Action's a little bit up.
Yeah.
No one's going to be able to see this from the vantage point that I can see it at. But watch this. I'm going to play a perfect fourth at the 7th fret, right?
Yep.
4th and 3rd string, A and D. Now watch. I'm going to put my index finger down on the C, and the string's going to run under the slide. The slide is playing the A, but my finger's playing. So now my finger's playing the A. The slide is here. So watch. Watch. Okay, now watch this. Watch. I'm going to play G major, ascending, and D flat.
Oh, okay.
Descending. Watch.
Far out.
Okay, so now what I was able to do was, when I first started to do this, I would do these, they're called spirals. They're two scales moving in opposite directions, but they're in unison. Let's say I wanted to do chromatic ascending, A major scale descending, chromatic from A, I go. Right, now I have a problem. Where am I going to get that C? So I move this note to here, I go.
Wow.
Okay? And I almost always only use the index finger. So watch. Let's say I want to do some free counterpoint. And now I'm doing finger behind the slide chords. Just, loose voicings, right? Here's double stops, right? Let's put it in a more, common thing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little noisy because I'm sort of not caring.
Yeah.
So then I learned, I figured out how many 7th chords can you play fragments of using this technique, and then hybrid voicings. How about this stuff? You heard Ben doing all those beautiful 5th structure stuff? He was going. And I would follow him. Now, if I wanted to do something that was a little more, like I joke with my students. I say, this is how I met my first 5 wives.
Beautiful.
You
Wow.
know what I mean? So you can improvise. So I'm being a little rough here, but you can improvise lots of things. My strings are actually blown out from playing the session.
Well, all right. So first of all, you have to have the slide on the pinky
Have to
do that.
do that.
I
Yeah.
learned, and I've never been able to go or
I know.
tried to do here. So I lose one finger
Well,
in the
all
process.
of my students do the pinky thing. They won't do they do the ring finger thing.
Oh, they do.
Probably for strength reasons, but maybe it's because most slide players that they loved did do that.
I haven't even paid attention. Is that true?
Yeah, Sonny doesn't though. Cooter doesn't.
What about Derek Trucks?
Yeah, pinky.
Pinky.
Yeah. No. Ring.
Ring.
Yeah. Allman Brothers, Ring, Warren, Dwayne, Derek Trucks, anybody, the copiers, most of those
That
other
could
guys.
well be why I started it, but I'm just not sure.
Now, no offense to anybody, but I actually don't keep track of the slide guys in the world
Oh, yeah.
since I basically started to leave the performing world,
Right.
which, I say officially in my mind was around 2000,
Yeah.
but I toured up till about 2013 till I got sick.
Well, I'm sort of got my ear to the ground, but only sort of. But they're not many.
No,
is my
but there's
impression.
some really great ones.
They're people who also sort of double on slide, but do other stuff
Yep.
too. So
Well, that's the other reason why on the pinky it's useful because you could play all your chords.
oh yeah, absolutely.
You can play all your,
Yeah.
if you needed to, right?
Yep. Very useful. No, I feel quite limited with only the 2 fingers. It's better than nothing.
Yeah,
But
I know.
all right, tell the story about how you started. You heard.
okay.
You heard.
Oh yeah. So in my house, growing up, 2 older brothers. The middle brother, who's closer to me in age, he's a fine artist, and he had this incredible record collection. He was like an audiophile guy. He had this, Klipsch speakers, Macintosh amp back in like the 60s, right? Yeah. So we shared a big room together. We bunked together basically. And his record collection and his taste was really broad, and no one talked about it like as a thing. So an average day I might hear a Grateful Dead record, American Beauty or something earlier, followed by Ornette Coleman, Shape of Jazz or something, followed by Joni Mitchell, followed by some Delta Blues, followed by Art Ensemble of Chicago. And then we just run the gamut. There'd be classical stuff. There'd be really the world music thing was harder back then to find. Okora records and stuff.
Yes.
Way harder than it is now. I mean, I have more stuff in 2 apps on my phone than
Right.
Berklee streaming audio in the library. Every catalog has 2 million things in it.
Yeah.
There's 39 catalogs.
Yeah.
But
No,
anyway,
I
so
remember.
I was just there, not playing, but I'm, like a kid, and I'm just hearing all this music. And weirdly, a lot of weird things in this story. The first thing that happened to me was I didn't compare the musics. I just noticed that they were organized differently, but basically they were using the same stuff. I just didn't know what the stuff was. What is the stuff? It's intervals, and rhythms, mostly in the 12-tone system.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know this yet. But I could tell by the sound. It's not like one music was so radically different than the other.
Right.
I never measured it that way at all.
I think there was more of that in those times.
I think there was.
Because that was just natural to
Yep.
me and all my
Yeah.
friends.
And that's how it was with me. And it wasn't until the internet that I started to find people that didn't have this at that age even.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I think the internet is extremely, they call it atomization. It's extremely
Mhm.
compartmentalized.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, I'm hearing all this music, but I get interested in this thing, this sound that turns out to be slide guitar, bottleneck style. But I didn't know what it was. So I was 11 years old, and I was magnetized by the sound of this, mostly the electric guys. So who am I hearing? I'm hearing the Stones. I'm hearing the Allman Brothers. I'm hearing 11 years old in 68. I'm hearing Rory Gallagher. I'm hearing Led Zeppelin, Lowell George,
Mhm.
another year, 69. Anyways, I finally figure out what it is. My father helps me do that. I told you that story. There was that one book called Slide Guitar.
Right.
It was like a book of all the different styles and how to play. But they're all root styles. Nobody's doing. Lowell was doing some crazy lines. Actually, the wildest guy I ever saw play jazz lines was J.B. Hutto. A lot of people don't know who he was. He was a Chicago guy, blues guy, 50s, came up in the 50s. He was still touring when I first moved to New York. I saw him at the Bottom Line, and that cat could fucking play.
Wow.
Sorry. That cat
Sorry,
could
Mom.
really play. And anyways, I was struck one day by the second thing that magnetized me to this day, which is, why is that beautiful sound not in this music, Ornette, not in Art Ensemble, not in Stravinsky's symphony, not in some avant-garde music of some kind, a Hat Hut record that I was hearing, because it wasn't yet. And I thought, open road for me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure this out. So that's like an epiphany that I had. I literally had a vision where I could see myself from this side playing. This is going to sound insane. It's absolutely true. Playing basically what I play now.
Wow.
But 55 years ago. So imagine this vision, which I don't comprehend yet because I don't even know intervals yet, is out here like 4 light years. And all I did, and this is really the thing that blows my mind, but it was not hard in the sense of that it made sense. It was enormously difficult, but I didn't care. I thought, the only way I'm going to get there is I'm going to do something today that's going to move me 1 millimeter towards that. Okay? And I broke the problem down, not by thinking it backwards, but by saying, it's called this thing, the guy that was Warren Buffett's best buddy there, Charlie.
I can't remember.
Yeah. He says, when you have a problem, invert it. Look at the thing that's going to make it fail or that you can't do. So I thought, well, the first thing I can't do is make a note. So I had the slide. At that time, for a little while, I had it on my ring finger. And I played a note. I went, and I just checked it. I would just, no vibrato. I would just, and just try to get it not to fret out. And I would slide into it. And I would slide into it. And I would just play it. And then I did that for like a week. I remember it was a G. And then I went like this. Okay? Now you understand that the slide's not coming off the string. So if I don't put my thumb back down, okay, you're going to hear this.
Yeah. Right.
So now if I want this to go faster, I have to actually move the slide faster and mute.
Yes.
If I want them long, so that they melt into each other, it's long, mute, move really fast.
Right.
Okay? Then I did this. And now I have a problem here. In this hand, I have to go.
Right. Got it.
Right? So then I started to do these finger exercises, and then I saw this article in Guitar Player magazine about Mississippi Fred McDowell doing these 3-finger thing, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to separate them. So then I could go. I'm going to speed it up. A couple years later, I was able to go. Now imagine all the different ways you can lay those notes out on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I learned something like that, I learned it in every way that it could lay on the guitar.
Oh,
Okay?
that's a lot of patience for a young lad.
10 hours a day. At that age, that you can do this. I remember Brian Baker. Hi, Brian. Hope you're doing well, brother. A young student at Berklee walked up to him when he was a student after a thing where he played, and the kid said, will you show me some of that stuff? And he said, absolutely. He said, but how old are you? And the kid goes, 19. He says, yeah, you're too old already to do the practice. He said, I did this when I was 8.
Oh, that's cruel.
No, he was right. He said, look, you're too old. You're not going to, because the fact is, no one does that. I haven't met a student yet that did what I did when I was in my 20s. I did 15 hours a day in my 20s. I mean, I was 27. I was doing 15 hours a day of practice, and then I would go to a gig.
Yeah, but we don't want to actually say that out loud.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Because guys who are in their 20s and 30s, don't they need to still believe that anything's possible?
I
Or
guess
no?
if you want to delude yourself, because the fact is that it's only possible. I heard a guy say, who was not a musician, he was a business guy, like a business
Yeah.
venture capitalist. He said, anyone can become a millionaire, and you only have to work a half a day. You get to choose the first half or the second half.
That's good.
It's 12 hours.
Right.
Yeah, the idea of the 8-hour day or like an hour a day of practice.
Right.
Yeah, okay. I mean, good luck. I've seen some people do this without doing
Right.
that.
Of course I agree. Yeah, you've got to put in those hours. I think that it's possible
I mean,
to reach certain heights up to maybe a little later than that in an age. But one thing is absolutely for sure, everybody who ever got really good at an instrument had some years of obsession.
Oh my God.
Where there was multiple hours every day.
What, Tim Byrne, did he live with Julius or Oliver? He was with either
Julius.
Julius. Okay, so they would play in the loft in separate rooms. I mean, and then come together and play. He would play his horn for 10 hours without stopping.
Yeah.
Ornette does this. Pat told me Ornette, when they were doing Song X on the road, Ornette would play when he got to the venue at sound check. Then he would go and he would go back to the hotel and he would play.
Yes.
They would play the gig. He would go back to the hotel and play.
Yeah. This is John McGoffin also.
Yeah. Oh, I know. The thing with the tape. Remember when he was learning the chords? He said, oh, when I was a kid, I would play a D major 7, sharp 11, which of course this is 10 different chords, but it's right now, we'll call it a D major 7,
Right.
sharp 11. And he would record this.
Right.
He would record this on a 30-minute cassette, flip it over, record it again, same groove, same tempo, flip it back, play to it, practice over it, flip the tape, flip the tape, flip the tape. Tomorrow, different chord, different root. He did this for every chord, every root, every day.
Wow.
Like 3 hours on a chord. I had this, here's a great one. I had this thing.
I never heard that story, by the way.
I know, I hear you right. This was in a Guitar Player magazine article when I was a kid.
Wow.
And then we have to talk about the Lowell George thing in a second. But here's an exercise that when I was in New York, I would practice with people. So I went over and practiced with Laney Stern.
Yes.
They were so nice to me. Thank you, Laney and Mike. Laney especially, thank you. But Mike, God bless you, man. Thank you. And Wayne Krantz would always come over. And Wayne and I started to get together. This is a Wayne exercise. We would do this for 6 or 7 hours without a break, except to go to the bathroom. He'd say, grab the guitar anywhere with any string, any finger. So just do it I'll do it. So I would grab the second string, F natural, with my middle finger. He says, you can't move the finger, okay? Can't move the finger. You're on the flat 3 of melodic minor, descend. Okay, you can't move the finger. And right there, you have to play melodic minor, 1 octave, and then if you want to, complete the scale. Right? then you would grab the note and he'd say, "Oh, you're on the 7th degree of harmonic major, ascend."
Uh-huh.
Right? And you go, you know,
Right.
and right?
So you get to know the neck.
Now watch this. He would say, "Okay, now you're on the top 4 strings. Don't worry about the fingering. This is the 9th." This is so fucked up. He would go, let me think if I can have this right. He would go, "This is a 9th of an E dominant 7 sharp 11 chord."
Uh-huh.
And you'd have to build the chord, like, right?
Wow.
Here's the sharp 11, here's the flat 7, here's the 9. And on my guitar, this is a 5, which I might not put in,
Yeah.
right? I might put
Yeah.
a 13. And you had to do it like that. And then
Wow.
then you'd say, grab a note, any string, different string. So you grab a note on the 4th string and say, "Oh, you're on the 2nd degree of harmonic minor, ascend."
Yeah.
Right? So
Great
yeah,
exercise.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we would do this all day long.
Wow.
Two
To be in
scales.
your 20s again.
Yeah. Ascend, descend, and then build a chord where that note is not on the bottom or the top. It's in the middle.
Yeah.
And the chord is, so you have to decide what do you keep, blah, 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 blah. And it's just fretboard, kind of knowing your fretboard better and whatnot. So the finger slide thing, that was a lot of work. It's still continuing, for whatever it's worth. It's just intervals, usually double stops. I'm always working on improvising with it, so the lines are both movable, but I do these fixed things as well, like the spirals or
Yeah.
the motifs. And then the tuning. So I have a standard with
Right.
a high D. And this was called universal tuning in the 60s. It went out of style. It was 50s, 60s.
I never heard that
I know.
phrase.
It's kind
Interesting.
of,
Wow.
it didn't last long. It was for guys that wanted to be in open G, but they didn't want to change the bottom of the
Oh,
guitar so that they could play
interesting.
all
Yeah.
their chords. But you have this beautiful minor third. So watch.
Mhm.
If you take middle C, okay, and you now move it so that you can get all the intervals. You have minor third, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, skip string interval,
Uh-huh.
major 6, skip string interval, minor 7, skip string interval, octave, double skip, 9, and minor 10. So now you have this.
Ah.
So now you have all that stuff. Here's the Nashville correction. You hit the chord a half step too low. You just,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So this tuning opened up the number of intervals. I think it's 5 inside the octave, minor third, major third, fourth, perfect fifth, minor 6, minor 7, 6 inside the octave, 3 outside, then a finger slide and for whatever it's worth.
Beautiful. All right, so show us these mutes that look like little buttons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So when I discovered that this could, in a way, be like almost like that sound of an oud or the African zither, right? This is the I was looking into, and I wasn't trying to study indie music because I really take that stuff so seriously that I know from a fact that the way they train those musicians, you're a child, you sing for 7 years.
Yeah.
Then you touch the instrument for 20. You're 25, you go when you're 4.
Right.
Yeah, you're 30 when they let you out of there.
Yeah. I mean, there's variations.
Yeah, I know, I'm being
Yeah.
broad stroke. But a lot of the musicians are given to the
Yes.
family of the teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trusted with their care and raising them. Okay, anyways, that's tangential. The buzzing of the sitar and the vina is because the string leaves the saddle, so-called, and runs over a block of wood.
Mm.
It's about this wide.
Yeah.
And it just rests on there and buzzes. So I thought, as a slide, what can I grab that I can hold in my hand that's hollow enough to thin out the overtones that creates a buzz? And it's a button.
Ah. Wow. I'm gonna just. It is. So let me just.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's kind of you're holding it with your three fingers.
I literally sometimes just hold it with two.
I've got to try this. Hold on. This
You
is
know?
going to really sound sad.
No, it isn't.
Should turn up.
Now, keep in mind, the center of the button is the note you want to play.
The center.
The
I'm
center.
glad you said that.
There you go. There you go.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I take me a few years to play in tune, but other
No,
than
but
that,
that's the point. That's the point. Don't worry about that thing. I mean, you think the Delta guys were in tune?
well, in a way they were.
Yeah, I know. But that's what I'm saying is like,
Yeah.
what is in tune?
Yeah.
Like if I'm playing with certain people, I have to change my idea of intonation.
Hmm.
If I'm playing in certain settings, I have to change it. When I would be overseas, like I've played in chamber groups with operatic voice, piano, strings, string quartet, piano,
Yeah.
soprano. I got to think about intonation differently.
Well, interesting because you play slide like a violin player, you have that option. Whereas, of course, if you're just playing with your fingers, you're pretty
Right.
locked in.
But like if I was, Leroy, I studied with Leroy Jenkins for a while. When I
Did
was in
you?
the-
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Leroy was
Wow.
Leroy was
He was
deep.
amazing. Yes,
He
he
was
was.
deep.
He was.
He changed my life.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I can't really tell that story, though.
Oh.
I mean, I can't tell it on the podcast. It's a little private.
That's all right. But
Yeah.
no, Leroy was, I think, not well enough known.
No, not
But
at
he
all.
played on a lot of records and with a lot of people.
He was
a
one of
big
the
part of it.
founders of the AACM.
Yeah.
Him and Muhal
Mm-hmm.
and Steve McCall, the drummer
Yes.
that was in Air.
Yes. And, the fact that he played violin, just nobody did it at the time where he started.
Here's what Leroy told me. He said he was born and raised in Alabama, and the music was in the schools, in the grammar schools, so everybody learned do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and basic triadic harmony and stuff. And he was an alto sax player in the school band. And when he left Alabama and went up to Chicago, which basically probably saved his life,
Mm-hmm.
okay, he switched to violin. And I said, wow, is that an odd choice? He said, no. Do you understand that the violin was the instrument that the alto sax was invented to replace in marching bands?
Boy, I sure didn't know that.
Adolph Sax invented the various saxophones to replace all of the string instruments in the orchestra.
I'll be damned. Never thought of that.
And so the violin and the alto were often pushed towards a student at the same time. So he was not unfamiliar with it, but he said, there's all these heavy alto players. I'm going to play the violin, get down on this thing.
A little like what you said.
Yeah.
I'm going to
much
do
so.
something different.
Yeah, very much so.
So I can be the only one in my lane.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I was hitting, I'll just tell the story without giving all the details, but I was hitting a very low point in my life at 25. And I went to Leroy to study, and he had this ensemble thing. And after so many months, everybody drifted away except me. I show up one night, and it's just me and him.
Uh-huh.
And we started to play together, and he threw something in front of me that I couldn't handle. He wanted to play a piece. It was actually an Ornette tune, handwritten Ornette pencil chart.
Okay.
And I couldn't read, and he would stop. And he would go, "What's up?" And I'd say, "No, just give me a second." I would try to, bluster. And he would stop. Finally, he put his violin down. I said, "Okay, what's going on?" And I said, "Look, man, I've kind of gotten, off the beaten path a little bit. And I'm trying to come back. I had gotten, little sidetracked.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
not just a little. I got like almost dead sidetracked.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I'm trying to start over, basically. And he said, okay, tell me something. How long was your run? And I said, it was 10 years, which wasn't true. It was longer.
Yeah.
And he said, do you think you wasted that time? And I was trying to be brave.
Uh-huh.
And I said, yeah. And he said, well, you did. Like he didn't even, I don't think my voice stopped sounding. He said, you did. You wasted all of it. And he said, so here's what you're going to do, my friend. You're going to make a decision right now. You are either starting over or you're walking out that door and you're throwing the guitar away, go do something else. He said, you're a smart kid, but it's right now. You have till I get to 0. And he just went like this. And I got to 2 and I said, I'm starting over. And he goes, good. Let's read this fucking chart. That's a half
awesome.
note. That's an A.
Oh, thank you, Leroy.
And I never looked back. He basically gave me the Zen stick. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. And he popped my self-pity bubble
Mm-hmm.
so that I felt the pain that I was trying to avoid.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the pain doesn't last forever once you lance the bubble.
Right.
Then you just get to work. And that's when I recommitted. And I think maybe 2 years later, I was studying with that guy at the new school who really built the fretboard for me. I mean,
Yeah.
he
I
gave me the
remember that
material.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when I really, up to that point, I think I was, trying to, my drive and my vision was still present, but I was working with like really kind of not a good methodology. And,
Okay.
and I just became like this monk, this militant kind of almost, like I don't want to make it sound grandiose, but I became like a Shaolin of my thing.
Far out.
Yeah.
Hey, I got an idea. Let's do some playing.
Yeah, let's do
But
it.
give me something to limit my options.
Well, do you want to do prepared stuff, prepared guitar?
Nice idea.
Okay. Put this in between the top 2 strings
Okay.
against the bridge, like
So-
tightly, but top two,
Top 2.
but don't touch it to the body.
Like that.
And make sure it touches the bridge. Push it all the way back to the bridge.
Got it.
Now, just play some lines on the top and hear what it sounds like. Yeah. Great.
Very nice.
Now, put these 2 guys. No.
What are these, by the way?
These are alligator clips.
No, but
Well, they're just rubber stoppers. You get them at the hardware store.
okay.
They're for little bottles or something.
Okay.
Now, you're going to clip these down somewhere in front of the bridge.
Okay.
And you're going to find the sweet spot on each string, but just clip it with the first few teeth
Yeah.
because you don't want it to fall. Beautiful. Now do the next string. And do it in a slightly different spot.
Yeah.
Not far from the bridge. Keep it closer to the bridge.
Okay. All right.
And play the string, see what you got. Good. And you want to do one more on the D string? And now you have this thing, you can do these figures if you want. Yeah, put it back there.
Yeah. No, I'm hip.
Okay. Now you can do these figures. But you can go like,
Right.
and just come up with a little figure if you want. Just anything, simple groove, any
Yeah.
2 notes. Could be any feel. And then you can play some lines on the top.
We might have another track for
I
the
know,
record.
I know. He got it too.
We just happened to do this in a recording studio. That's amazing. You know, this is a fabulous sound.
Yeah.
It really just
Yeah.
to me it just told me what to do.
Exactly.
It
right.
told me what to do.
The sound palette tells you what you can do. And this is the thing about, okay, so we were talking for a moment about process before we came on the podcast. The process of making music, of composing and of improvising and whatnot. And my thoughts about that are that I actually wrote a kind of very much a codified set of courses in spontaneous composition, formerly known as improvisation. One of the problems with improvisation, when young, particularly guitar players, improvise, is they make certain unconscious assumptions. One is that it's a conversation. And I say, no, it's not. It's a monologue. It's like you're building one object, you're two people building a thing together. But it's neither person's thing. And neither of you are following. You're both leaders all the time.
Yeah.
The only thing that changes is your role. You can be an accompanist, you can lay out, you could play a support role, or you could be the ostinati person or something, but you can make a role. You can play a form. Whatever your role is, you can play through compose, you can be the wild person, the other one is not, whatever. Yeah. The role is a role. It's like an actor taking a role. But leadership is a mindset. It means I'm responsible for every choice I make, no matter how I'm making that. Unconscious, impulse, accident are equally as valid as hearing. I tell them hearing is just one thing, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing I say is if you don't have respect for your materials, you're cooked. Like you have to let your materials tell you, first of all, what's possible. Like you did with this.
Yeah.
And I do with the slides. And it's going to be more limited than, so you're not concerned with your idea, your self-expression. You're like saying like, wow, these sounds, like if I do this, for example, if I put on the cave reverb, I'm definitely going to... play things like that, right? Now, if I dirty it up, I might play really quietly. You know? I'm not going to blast a solo with that sound.
Right.
You know, I'm going to be... And, okay, so now maybe I'll find some happy accident stuff where I'll have an idea that allows me to take that sound but use it in a different way, which is what I do with all these acoustic things, preparations and slides and stuff. So I don't have to say, oh, this is my oud sound. I can just say, this is this timbre.
Yeah.
This is my mute.
Mm-hmm.
So I can take a solo. I can play a same kind of solo I would play. You know, whatever.
Yes.
I can play whatever. I can play, you know, I could play like... That's my mute for that sound, right? So I can say, oh, I'm going to use that in a way it's not typically thought of or whatever. And so respect for materials, like letting your materials lead you, and this idea that you have to be a leader all the time, which means there is no, you're making choices no matter how you're making them.
Yeah.
Just make them. Oh, and the third thing I say about the compositions, I always work with melody first, not harmony. Melody is the form, kind of.
Yes.
And I say, you play a note, and then you play a different note, and now there's a relationship. Now the idea pool that was kind of infinite till you chose that first note stayed pretty big still, drops dramatically, because now this is going to suggest to you, whoever it is, a thing. So maybe somebody's going to go, you know, I'm going to go, I might go like that, right? Once you are in a development, the idea pool is like really small because you are connecting things, and the next thing you play explains the last thing you play.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
not forward, it's backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You might be thinking forwards, but nobody hearing it, they have to hear backwards.
Yeah. That totally makes sense to me.
You know? So when they say when you get self-conscious, just make a choice. And the choice could be silence, but just make a choice. So then once we're doing that, the chances are the person is perceiving the thing as a process. Now, whether it's a repetitive type of thing, you know, we can make a form, like a kind of a A-B form, you know.
Yeah.
We can make a form out of stuff. We can make it in a style. We can make a song.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do an ABA form. I can only play the bottom string, and you can only play the top string.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Ready?
And okay, yeah, cool.
And just to be clear here, I'm at somebody else's equipment. I've got no effects, but you use yours.
Okay.
But that's a further limitation of mine. I've got no pedal board. Thank
Okay.
God.
I'll
One
see-
less thing
yep.
to worry about.
Okay, this is cool. Let's do it. Ready? Just
Okay.
start.
Ready. Sorry, let's start again with my volume up. How does that sound?
You're good. I like that though. I heard that sound.
Here we go.
Yep. Beautiful. And then we do it again, you know.
Right.
We could, because basically, I don't know if you remembered all that, but I memorized all my things. I did. Yeah, I did this melody. Yeah. And then this one I went, right?
I
And
don't
then this
think
one I
could
went,
completely recreated.
yeah, if we wanted to. And then we could do a C and a D or a B1
Yeah.
or whatever, you know. And of course, the forms don't have to be units of even number bars or whatever.
Of course not.
But they could be. You could say to yourself, you know, oh, I'm going to pick a meter, pick a tempo, whatever, we feel it. I'm going to play a 4-bar phrase and repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my A.
But these are great prompts
Yes.
to learn to hear
Uh-huh.
and to learn to communicate with other people and to
And
take
make
responsibility.
decisions. Yeah, and make
decisions. You know, what we all need, you talked about getting together with Wayne Krantz and Lenny, and so we all need partners to
Yes.
do this with. Now, it's a lot easier when you're younger. When you get to be our age, nobody wants,
Well,
no,
nobody
it's
has-
too much trouble to come
nobody has
over.
time.
Nobody
Yeah.
has time.
No,
I'm
it's-
too busy and tired.
That's terrible. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
But a wonderful, wonderful memory that you shared. And of course, I have my own of just, let's try this. Let's try that. But what I really like about some of the stories you're told is the level of forward thinking. Like, let's really think outside of what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Let's expand our imaginations. Let's expand the language of the instrument, which
Absolutely.
is what you've done. And you say absolutely, but we don't see enough of this in our world, I think.
Not at all anymore.
Yeah. And, when we were younger, maybe there was a little more of that. I don't want to say that there is an incredible amount of creative music being made today. What I do want to say is I think the stories you're telling can be a model for anybody who's younger and developing to take an uncharted path.
Mm-hmm.
And an uncharted path to me is what I always wanted.
Yeah.
I didn't want to sound like everybody else. I would try sometimes to do that to be a better player, and I still do. But I really more and more feel, and you tell me if this is true, that the creative world is kind of divided into two: those who want to chart their own path and those who want to support and learn sort of history and be part of it, be really, really great at a sound that's already there.
That's a very compassionate way to describe it.
Is that true?
Well, it's undoubtedly true. The thing I think about, or that I see, that is it's connected to that, is, let's see how I can describe this. I guess I'll use my own experience as an example. So when I was a kid, and we're the same age, basically who was on the radio, like if you're driving around with your friends as a teenager, right? Who's on, like FM radio.
The stuff that everybody still listens to.
Correct.
We grew up with the greatest.
Correct.
Oh my God, young people will kill me for saying
I
this,
know.
but I do think that a template was formed in rock,
Yes,
in jazz,
Correct.
for a new era.
correct.
In funk. Funk was invented when we were that
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're still working off those same materials.
Absolutely.
So it's not, I don't want to make it a better or worse,
Right.
but we grew up in a golden era.
We did.
Yeah.
And it was a golden era for a lot of reasons, some of them having to do with the technology that was bringing the music to you, as well as the artists being free to do this. But here's the thing that I think about. So let's say I'm driving around with my friends, and we have the FM radio on our FM station up in Rochester, and I might hear Santana. I'll hear all the great guys. I'll hear all the blues guys. I might hear Harvey Mandel and
Right.
people like that, right? But it really was less than 24 players that were constantly in your ear. They were all different, and they were all interesting, but completely recognizably different. And Jeff Beck and Page and those guys talked about when Hendrix came out. Beck was the only one who didn't go like, oh man, we're done. Beck said, no, we're not. Like, come up with that's going to drive you to go down
never knew
a
he
path
said that.
you would never take otherwise.
Yeah.
Which is why he was always coming out of the business and saying, okay, I'm taking a break now.
Yeah.
Okay, so now think about this. When I was coming up as a player, you couldn't make records easy. They're tens of thousands of dollars.
Right.
So all my peers, and that includes you and all our friends that are here in New York especially, they weren't the people that I had records to listen to of. If I wanted to listen to guitar on records, it was all these stars from the last era. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I stopped listening to all those heroes, and then I just either played with you, went to see you play, right? That was it. We either played together, I either was doing that, went to see you play, or I practiced. And I didn't get distracted by everybody's records. And when I stopped listening, I said, well, of course I'm going to stop listening to John McLaughlin. And no offense, John, but it was like, you're not in my sphere. I don't get to see you. I would never get to spend time with you. And yes, I got to concentrate on my own thing. So sorry, John, I'm going to stop listening to you. Right? I stopped listening to Wayne Shorter at one point because he was dominating my thinking.
Yeah.
The beauty of it. I mean, I wasn't able to, express that, but I stopped listening to Miles. I stopped listening to everybody. Actually, for 25 years of my life, I didn't have a way of playing recorded music. But you know how much music you still hear.
Wow. Yeah.
I didn't own a thing. I didn't own a CD or anything. I still heard tons of music. Now, if you're a young person coming up, every gig, every session, everything you do, everyone's making records. I have students that come in and they give me 3 CDs. They're 18 years old. And I'm like, I'm sorry, babe.
Yeah.
I don't say that to them, but I'm going to say it now. What are you making records for at that time? Like, what do you think this is about?
Yeah.
And you know what is happening? A whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. There's the occasional genius.
But that's unfortunate because what about the people that will develop into a genius?
Yeah.
Who are not, they're thwarted by the fact that now everybody can, document things and then put them out as if they are, I don't know what I'm even saying here other than the glut.
Yeah.
Right? My students that I see are overwhelmed. I ask them every year since 2003, what's the experience you're having with the internet? And the answer is always one word: overwhelmed. And I say, well, can you stop? And they go, no.
Yeah.
Because frankly, they can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would lose connection with everybody, communication with everybody. And it's unfortunate. It's a fact. Back in the day, remember, right? I toured a third of the world without a cell phone or a computer. Like, I left my home going like, I hope it works out. I have this book of, we used to call the tour itineraries. I used to rename them the Book of Lies. I would write on it with Sharpie, the Book of Lies. Let's consult the Book of Lies.
Wow.
We're staying in such and such hotel. It's like, no, you're not.
That's great.
Yeah, they didn't set that up properly. It's okay.
Yeah. Hey, we should probably draw this to a close pretty soon, so our fine engineer at J. Bird Andres can go home.
Thanks,
but
Andres.
hey, man, wonderful to partner with you in this
Joel.
endeavor.
Thank you, man.
All right, David Tronzo.
Bless you. Thank you, Joel.